together.
Yeah, so I thought that was earlier, not later, and so that's kind of so now I got it. I understand everybody is earlier than us or than me.
Awesome. Hey, Goose joined us. Goose.
Yay, the zebra, the zebra. Yeah, yeah. For good luck.
Goose, we can't hear your lovely voice, sir. Where are you?
Oh, dude, I had like a whole monologue going.
Oh, man, you got to do it again then.
That was a bummer. All right. Yeah. So let's try that again. I was saying you rub the ass twice every day for good luck.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Damn. That was the gist. That was the gist of everything. How you dudes doing today?
Sweet.
Great.
Beautiful. I love it.
Is that a grand piano in there?
It is. Yeah. That's the CTO's. Daniel.
Cool, cool, cool. I gotta play it one day.
Oh yeah, totally. We've done a live stream before on this one.
Nice. Oh yes.
Let's see.
Dude, it would be so classy to have somebody playing that in the background while you have like a live call going on.
Yeah, just pinkering around like like a Charlie Brown kind of theme going on.
Yes. Can you guys hear it okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Robbie, can you teach me how to play?
Yeah, dude.
One of these days we'll just do like a whole show.
I like it.
Yeah. That's so. I think I already told you guys. It's the weirdest thing because the office is empty for the next, I don't know, week and a half, something like that. So it's just me in this place, and it's very. I mean, I'm kind of used to. Usually, it's just like me and Sam or me and Nick here. So the fact that it's just like me is a little bit bizarre. I'm not even sure. I guess maybe that's the only reason why I'm wearing clothes is because I have a call. Otherwise, I'd just be on the couch.
Yeah.
Butt naked.
That's hilarious.
Sweet. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in. First, a couple announcements. I think starting Wednesday. I haven't come up with a name for the series, but you guys all saw the post for Captivate 3.0, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, the overall gist is that we're going to be going through, and I may choose a couple of members' communities to go through specific elements of that as we go through. But the idea is that I'm going to rebuild Captivate from the ground up and show why they exist and what my thought process is for the whole thing. We're going to start with the low ticket community. And it's just going to be a live thing that I'll leave the recordings up so that everyone can watch them. But the idea would be that, yes, we all have the theory part, and I can touch on that very briefly, but the more important one is application. Why, understanding why you do it, and then showing that it's done. And here's why, like present rather than more of a heady thing. And this has been a big request for a while, so may as well just start. So we're going to start. I have a flow. I'll probably change it. I'll probably share it in the next couple of days. It's going to start with more or less like offer, vision, things like that, and get to marketing, get to management. The whole thing goes through, but I have it structured in a really cute way that's going to be a lot of fun. So the number one thing, as always, is it has to not be totally fucking miserable. So that's kind of like the backbone of where we're going with that. So ideally, within the next 2 to 3 weeks, we should be done with a full walkthrough series that you can just pick. Oh, I'm curious about this thing. I just go here, and then we can just sort of refer to that one. So that starts Wednesday. And I'll probably put that up. But as we keep talking today, if there is anything in particular that you would like to see that I haven't, that has to do with your build out for your community, just tell me and I'll make sure that it's up there. I'm going to share one thing here first. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, I have it right here. Okay. Here is I guess I'll put it in the chat so you guys can all have a sneak peek. But there are 11 sections, 11 chapters to a full build out, as I usually do it. So this is usually for our high ticket, the 30 to 40K builds. That is here. Oh, it didn't do the whole thing. That's too bad. Okay, well, ignore that. I'm going to have to just find another way to share that document. Oh, I know. Maybe I can. Does this take photos? No, it doesn't take photos. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. That's how we're going to hack this. Here you go. Okay, so this is a very expensive document. So go ahead and take a screenshot if you want to. This is what we're going to be going through. I'm trying to simplify the usual flow into just these 11 points. Afterwards, we'll go through and do the same thing for 6. This is basically how you build a free community, and this is how you build a low ticket community. Now, by and large, there are lots of different strategies to do that, but this is the one that we've kind of done consistently with our high ticket clients. Again, this is like a 30 to 40K offer, and that's most of what I'm doing outside of the community. So this is, it's tested. It's tested pretty well. So I'll be going through, I'm going to be starting initially with going through your who, what, why, how, all of that, then culture, which a lot of people actually skip. And this is super, super fucking important. In fact, I would say that is the main reason why groups like Captivate took off. This will also include one of the most important parts that no one talks about, man. VSLs. I don't know why. I've said it at so many one-day events. Like a VSL goes so far to bring people in, just letting telling them who you are, what the vibe is, and what you're offering. And so that's in here along with vibe and tone. We're then going to get in and talk about the whole beta client program. Instead of just telling you conceptually, we'll walk through the whole program, what that looks like. This crescendo, if you guys know, that has to do with music. Joseph, you're probably familiar with Robbie. And in a crescendo, it's the high point of something. In well, Alex calls it an activation point. This is when someone activates as like a staying client or someone who's really going to be with you for an extended period of time. So you have to identify, once you've done like a beta client program, what were their favorite parts, and what of those favorite parts were the lowest hanging fruit. And that is basically the quick win. So that's how you're going to be delivering something as soon as you've onboarded them. That's how you get them to stay. Captivate 1 is the idea of having engagement, but rather than calling it engagement, I put it into 3 categories of Captivate, which is this is your more intimate part. We'll go over a bit more of the nuance. This isn't talked about as much on school, but you have sort of your micro and your macro engagement, and they're not really the same thing. You kind of want to do them into different pockets. But this would include, social proof and the rest. Then you get to your macros, which is going to be your structure or system, what most people would consider to be your initial engagement step. Of course, retention, which is on the back end of engagement. It's very similar to the rest, but you have to bake it in as you scale everything. Making sure that you have SOPs. This one's really complicated for a lot of people. If you're doing it by yourself, you definitely need SOPs, but you need it even more so as you start bringing on people to help you with odds and ends. Because ideally, in a perfect world, you do the one thing that you're really good at. You're good at sales? Fucking do sales. You're good at marketing? Do marketing. You're good at operations? Do operations. Like, pick your thing, do your thing. Don't be distracted by any other parts, because assume you're a really scaling business and money's not an issue. The best way to go, the one that everyone would probably naturally go to, is I'm going to do the thing that I enjoy doing and that I'm good at. So that is what makes for a smooth running organization, especially if your people are remote or you're doing a lot of stuff online. Then off the back end of that, establishing a crew, deciding who you're going to, what things you don't want to do, what things are easy to scale with other hands. And then you're going to get in more into the data. So at that point, and I've got a software that I'm looking to try and hand out to everybody. I've been working on it with the team for a bit, but school is not going to itself have that anytime soon. It looks like it's a bit complicated to give to beginners. But once you have a lot of these things set up, it would be like being able to decide to see who's about to churn, predicting churn, seeing who your new members are so that you make sure that you touch each one. Things like this, making sure that you have something that's scraping and aggregating all of your data and knowing how to navigate that. And then the last one is, what's your higher level? There is another part to this, which would be exit, but that's quite significant. So, I'd probably consider doing that once you've scaled to something like $100,000 to $200,000 a month, unless it's like really passive, in which case it's basically a rental property. You may as well keep it. But if you ever want to exit, that's a second thing. That's a thing down here. That'll probably become more like getting along with valuation and the rest of it. That'll become more of a thing probably in 2026, maybe end of 2025 for communities as they're growing. Like it's going to become its own marketplace. But here, the final Captivate 3, the idea is bringing it IRL, and that's why I opted to stick and grow with school in particular, is because it is the one platform I've seen that tries to take you from online to real life, where most of the time it's the other way. That's pretty significant, because most of the biggest transformational changes, lifetime relationships, all that stuff comes from that end. So this is what we're going to go through. I'm going to start with Wednesday on clarity. And if you have anything that you feel like is not emphasized in here, you'd like to see more of, let me know, because that is that's going to be if there's a time to ask, now's the time. In the next couple of days before Wednesday. So cool. Does anyone have any questions about that whole shenanigan? J-Man.
The only thing that I saw that wasn't there that I'm super curious about, and I'm continually asking everybody, is the traffic part, is actually how to build the numbers or get the members in. Perfect. And I'm thinking, because now I'm wondering, is it I'm just hunting on school for other school people who know school, or am I trying to go to other platforms and get people from other platforms? Mm-hmm. I know the 300 method. Is that the only answer? Is just the 300? Like, the do content this, do the outreach this, do the posting this in other communities? Like, is there other ways?
There are other ways, yeah. You're right. There's that would make sense to sort of expand on. That's a really good point. One of the big things, I think that's basically in the traffic section, but it would make sense to separate it into two categories, on and off platform.
Yeah, there you go. Because I know there's an on-platform strategy, but is there a Facebook? I'm trying to run Facebook to get people to convert from Facebook to school, but it's a weird kind of conversion.
Yeah, it is a little bit weird. So yeah, I think both of those would be helpful. You're not running any ads though, right? So you're
not yet. No, I want to for sure, but I would love to see a good person train it or show it, or a good implementation for it. I've seen Max Pearson's ad campaign for his win, but that doesn't apply to me.
Yeah, I get you. Okay, so I think that's a really good point. I originally I was considering teaching 3 different methods to it, because there are. I was considering teaching 2 of them, but actually it seems like there might be 3. Let me write that down right now. So there's paid ads. Here we go. On platform, off platform. I think there would be. There's a system that I've been calling it for a while, which is, so if it gets a little bit confusing, so I'll tell you what the inside term is that I'm using. You've got organic traffic, which is you're posting stuff, people love it, and they convert. Everyone knows about that one. But hyper organic in this case would be you're posting on school and you're getting to convert from school. So that is its own strategy that doesn't get talked about a whole lot. So I'll talk about both of those, but then when you get to the organic, on the flip side of that, there's ads. So there's basically hyper organic, organic, and ads. And some variation of those 3 is probably a sweet spot for most people to have a pretty good idea of that. Does that sound pretty clear to you, Joseph?
Yeah, definitely.
Great. So let's do that. Hyper.
Yeah, having somebody go through that would be amazing.
Beautiful. Okay. Yeah, that one might be. That might be 3 different sessions. So that's super cool. Yeah. I was literally just messaging with Mr. Peach about that one the other day. Traffic's a big one. And it's good to have one extra variable in there to kind of like give a good perspective of, because you're right. That one is not really talked about that much on platform, which is interesting. because that kind of like fuels everyone's stuff. So, okay. That also perfectly builds off the back end of culture. The second one being like the VSL. Like if you know how to make a really fucking good VSL, dude, that's half the game right there, at least. Because that delivery requires understanding like such fundamental roots of what you deliver and how you deliver it, that like you're thinking quick at that point. And there's no, like, if you don't have any confusion and you can make a good solid VSL that people are into, and it's like it identifies with like the vibe that your community has, it's very easy to then take that same copy and use it for like sales calls or marketing in general. So I think it's a really good place to start with. Cool. Thank you, J-Man. Any other questions? Anything that you think would be missing or you'd like to see in there? Cool. That all encompassing. Sweet. Well, if there's anything later on, then just let me know. Totally happy to dial that in. Great, dudes. All right. That is going to be a lot of fun. I'll post a photo of it later today so everyone can see. And then, like I said, we'll start Wednesday. And if you can make it, awesome. You'll be able to ask the questions and everything. I'd urge you to make time for it. It might be between an hour and 2 hours. We'll see how it goes. But I'm going to cut those into smaller chunks so everyone can be very clear on what piece does what. And that you can basically watch them as needed rather than having to start with one and then go chronologically. The goal is to make this as accessible as possible. Okay, cool. Well, now that that's through, let's go ahead and hear how the blitz is going. Anyone want to chime in? Be like, what's working, what's not working, and let's solve any roadblocks. Let's start with Pete. You got some? Mitchell?
So fundamentally, the blitz is all about getting clients, right? That's the name of the game.
Well, booking calls. Because at the end of the day, yeah, you'll have to. Getting clients can sometimes be an accident, but booking calls usually is never. So you want to be able to book a call and figure out how to convert from that element.
I like that. Okay. And then just to touch again on the extra credit, to receive extra credit, it's just a screenshot of us on call with a prospective client.
That's right.
That's it.
That's it.
My brain likes to overcomplicate the most simplest things. So I'm just trying. Okay.
Yeah. If there's anything that I've gotten good at over the years, it's making something complicated simple. And
yeah.
So that's actually, it's a very good strength at this point, but I have this like now almost discomfort when something's overly complicated.
The good news, Mitchell, is we have Bryce on our team and he's killing it. Yeah, he's already got 3 book calls last week for us, so we got 3 extra points just for that. So
beautiful.
Yeah, and I got a couple coming up, but man, the Christmas week is hard.
I was about to say I got 2, so
decent. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yesterday, I had my phone in my hand, but I still just dropped you the Fathom screenshots because I forgot to take the selfie. I'm like, so maybe next time I'll remember.
Yeah, remember to take that selfie. But in the meantime, sure, we'll let that one slide for now.
Well, the Fathom's time-stamped, dated, and proof.
Okay. All right. I'll call them up and I'll start digging around.
Hey, but Mitchell booked me on a call with him that week. Does that count?
I like that.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Should circle jerks count?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Here's a tidbit of information about that. On 14th Street in Manhattan, back when Om Yoga was the hot new thing, that was taking place in a space that had formerly been a circle jerk. So all these people doing down dog and whatnot on those beautiful hardwood floors.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
History of.
I've never heard circle jerk as being a business before.
No.
Have you been to a local circle jerk? Yeah, they're open Wednesday through Friday. Man, excellent. Okay. Hey, thanks for sharing, Mitchell. That's a good point. Okay. Mr. Peach or Far? You guys got anything?
Well, yeah, I could share about some of the calls that we're having is mainly the onboarding calls right now, is to get people engaged. So we've changed a little bit of the onboarding route, pushing people more to have calls. And I've noticed such a big difference with, I think I had like 3 onboarding calls. I started really wrong with those ones. I was first like, okay, so what do you got? Do you have any questions? And then you could hear crickets in the background. But now I have a more of a proper script, and I ask like how the community can support them, how they can support the community as well. And I've noticed such a big difference. Like they are really one of the highest engaging members after that call. So we are quite adamant on pushing those calls forward and really trying to get as much people on the call as possible.
Amazing.
So that's been going really well. Then the DM strategy on Insta is going well, but it's going slow. So that just needs a lot of grinding, you know, that organic traffic from the off platform to school. It's working, but it's going slowly. But yeah, I think
Yep.
we're at least clear on the route and what's going well and how to
Great.
continue.
I love that. Yeah, that's a really good one. I'm actually quite excited myself. I'm one of those people, I think maybe everyone is, but I'm one of those people that's very good at telling everyone how to do a thing and walking them through it, and then I don't fucking do it myself. So I think all of us could be guilty of that at some point. So actually, this is a good opportunity for me to, actually follow a lot of the metrics and teachings that we see work and we teach. So rebuilding the onboarding live is going to be pretty fun, actually. That part I'm very much looking forward to. What would you feel? What would you say is like the biggest with your onboarding is the biggest thing that you learned that's made the biggest difference?
So I'm still learning. Because of what I'm trying to see is that now we have over 75% that is still on level 1, so they have not really engaged yet. So I find that's the hardest thing, you know, get them from 0 engagement to some engagement, because when they start, then you know it's good. So what I've learned, as soon as they reach out to you, and I'm being quite directive on like, hey, let's chat, you know, like not leaving any space, but more saying, you and I are going on a call. That works quite well, being quite directive, and then having that chat and helping them give inspiration what they could post about. So it's really holding them a bit by the hand and giving them the confidence, you know, that there's no wrong way of doing anything. And as soon as they post something, the community is quite nice also, because we have just in students, the founding members that are quite active. So as soon as you post something, people are really engaging with it and they're liking it. So they feel immediately like warm. So yeah, we just need to really get them on the call. That's my
Yeah.
biggest learning.
Awesome. I would consider that a pretty big win. That sounds awesome. Once you
Yeah.
dial those things in and you have, I mean, it's almost an activation point at that point. Those are great. And definitely make sure you're documenting those activation points, because those will be really important.
Yeah.
As long as someone gets 1 or 2 or even 3 of those things in a relatively short amount of time, they're pretty much guaranteed to stay for, like, that LTV just skyrockets after activation points. That's a really important bit.
And the interesting thing is I got from all these calls information that they're interested in taking their learning of Reiki, in this case, deeper, which is part of our paid community. So I'm sure that as soon as the paid community is there, they'd be interested in it. So that also, we don't have it yet, so we couldn't like funnel them through yet, but you know, it works so well doing it that way.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, if you have people that are doing that, and I think you guys are doing it properly to basically be like, okay, yeah, that we'll get to that point here soon, taking it like one step at a time. Are you collecting them on a wait list?
Well, now we have go high level, so then hopefully we can have like a proper pipeline on
Perfect.
because now it's all over the place. So hopefully
Yeah,
when
yeah.
we have that CRM system in place, we can put them in the proper
Beautiful.
channel.
I love that. I
On
think
the first day of Christmas, Justin installed for me Go High Level. On the second day of Christmas,
2 CRMs, 1 turtle dove. So I think that what's cool about what you're doing here. and
That's
something
amazing, guys. Congrats on that. That'll definitely help you.
That's
Yeah.
that's pretty. What's cool about that is as you are, well, I'll put it this way. One thing that you should consider doing, not a big one, but we've seen it works quite well, is having a wait list that is more of a marketing rather than a technical feature. So you just let people know, hey, this thing's coming, and we'll go. We can't service everyone on it, certainly not at the beginning, but yeah, that's something that can just tell them to brace, and they're thinking about it often and frequently, so that when it launches, you immediately have people that are ready to test it out, and we're excited the whole time. So just an extra time. Cool. Love that.
Evelyn does that. Like if you watch Evelyn, she'll do that where she'll put a wait list for a temporary amount of time. Everyone will join that, and then she opens it up.
Yeah.
As a great strategy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she's one of the best at doing that in my experience. Cool. Does anyone have a big win like that? Like that's a pretty big breakthrough. GHL and all that. Go ahead. Yeah, you don't have to check with me. Fucking turn off your mics and jump in.
Hey, how's it going, Goose?
What's up, man?
Hey, yeah, I wanted to share, I think there's like a couple new faces in here, but when I first joined, I think I was in an open area and was a little bit afraid to go into a niche. And then 2 weeks ago, I decided to just, pick one. I heard that saying, if you try to capture all, you capture none. So I made the change, and 2 days later, got some cold DMs right away and booked my first client, which was a friend, because I reached out to my network and just told friends to get their opinions of, friends that are supportive, right? And one of them just opened up to me and said, dude, I could totally use this. So I'm like, sweet, come on, I'll bring you the homie hookup discount and onboard you like you're an actual client. So I was like, the only exchange I asked for is to give me feedback, from onboarding process to, this paperwork to what do you think of the 3 pillars that I have. So we did our first session last week. And so, yeah, I thought, it was a huge win. I went 2 months with beta clients. So basically, you could call it like, oh, just from switching a niche, I got a client right away. But all the preparation and everything from these past 2 months led to it just being very smooth. And so far, he's stoked. So I thought that was huge. And now I'm working on booking more calls. I'm getting more leads, but they're not quite booking the calls. And I'm frustrated because I've got a big sales background. And I know once I get them on the phone, I can close them. So I feel like right now, the universe, whatever you want to call, is challenging me to connect them onto a call. Because they're like, you got this, but you need to figure out how to get them. So I'm trying to make it, from what you and Jeff have recommended, to welcome them to a party, and there's no pressure, just make it friendly, and keep that conversation going. But haven't had any luck yet, but I know it's probably right around the corner.
Well, the fact that you have gone far enough to request to friends and gotten feedback from that, like gotten a beta client that you can on like that, to me is a huge win. It's very difficult to get comfortable to do that, and because you're really putting yourself out there. So congratulations on that. That is
Thanks. Well, he's paid. He's not beta. He's paid. He's paying me because I told him, I was like, hey, this isn't for free. So I mean,
even better. You're getting the best of both worlds there. So there's a lot of props due there, because that's one of your big things that, like, I remember when you would first come in here, there was a lot of conceptuals and building, but kind of like not a whole lot of tangible stuff happening quite yet. Like, it sounds like that just started happening, which is amazing, because that's like, it's those more tangible action-based things that is going to make all of those goals that you've been talking about start manifesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Nicely done, man. Congratulations. Thank you for sharing that.
Thanks.
Yeah, and in fact, you should make a post about that one. I think I'm gonna start collecting. Actually, Peach brought this up to me a while back. I think we should start collecting again the wins, like the significant things we've had here. I forgot. This reminded me. I'm going to post today. Fuck. I hope I make the time today. I'm gonna make the time today. There's this new thing that I'm trying. Someone sent it to me, and it was like this old video of some. You guys may know the guy. I don't know who the guy was, but they were talking about how every day they wake up saying, something wonderful is going to happen to me today. And they say it like a bunch of times. And then before they go to bed, they say something wonderful is going to happen to me tomorrow. And when you just you start doing that, like that's what I was doing in the months prior to starting Captivate. And, you know, I do credit a lot of that to some degree of manifestation. I think that these little things are really helpful in the meantime. So I'm going to post either that, you know, maybe I'll just film my own. We can just walk through it together. But you reminded me, Eric. Thank you for that. That's good.
Yeah, and I just wanted to share one last thing. Like, I realized after I made the transition, my fear was, and I'm sharing this just in case anybody's going through this right now. But when you target a niche, you feel like I was going to box myself into just one thing, and that's what I was going to be known for. Like, let's say, I don't know, food. Let's say I'm making hot dogs, and I'm like, I'm going to be known as the guy who just makes hot dogs, but I make all types of food. I don't just make hot dogs. But my fear was that, and I realized making the transition, saying, you know what, I'm just going to focus on hot dogs for now. When people come in, they realize, oh, I can teach them how to make burgers. I can teach them how to make salads. I can teach them how to do this. But being in that niche is what attracted them. And then, you know, so I don't know, that I realized I had that like mental block initially. So
that's right. Yeah. It's almost as if the more focused you get, the wider the world becomes. You know, weird. Yeah. There's a quote that I really like. Let's see if someone knows the second half of it. It reminds me of this completely. There's in the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, there's the old guy with the white hair that is talking to Jack, and he says, "You are without a doubt the worst pirate I've ever heard of." Right? Do you guys know what the next scene, how he responds? Does anyone know that one?
But you have heard of me.
Exactly. Yes, but you have heard of me. And that is the cornerstone of what you're talking about. Yeah. There's a hierarchy of things that matter, and your consideration of how you're known is less important than the fact that you are. Yeah.
So question on that then, because I've heard that it's good to make your brand you, not what you do. So it's good for your brand to be you, so that anything that you do, like, you're not kind of the opposite of what Eric was saying. I've heard this from kind of different teachers stuff, that you should make your brand you so that you can kind of sell what you want. Should we not do that, or what do you think?
I don't think there's a right or wrong answer there. I think generally speaking, it should feel natural, which can be easier said than done, of course. So here would be my recommendation. My recommendation would be there's nothing wrong with trying to make it you, as long as that doesn't make you feel so uncomfortable that you're not able to perform or to accomplish what you're trying to do. It could be just as possible that you have to bring on a face or something like that. But as long as you're someone who is relatable or approachable, those are probably the two key points. There's nothing the matter with that. The trend online does seem to be veering more towards a authentic thing, which, you know, these go up and down periodically. But yeah, probably for the next 6 months at least, you'll see a more authentic trend continuing this like raw video interest that's been happening. So as far as content goes, which I'm assuming you're talking about brand and content.
Yeah. So basically, because what they say is that there's nobody in the world like you. So just being yourself is kind of your brand. So that's kind of that angle. That's kind of what I'm speaking about.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And if you can really sell that as you are weird in this way, awesome. It's even easier if you are actually weird in that way. So then, yeah, there you go. Wendy's over the moon. She's one of the weirdest that I ever see all the time. You need to have that eccentric something. That's how, yeah, exactly. Win weird. That's the kind of thing that gets, that, just like Eric was talking about, it almost provides a niche for your personality, because, and you can probably use Captivate as a good example of that too. There's a lot of people that will be turned off by it. They're not looking for that, but it also leaves room for more super fans, people that do identify with that and are like, yeah, I would totally hang out with this person.
Cool. Nice. Just on that front, I'm going to mention my wins as well.
Yeah.
So I got my tech stuff set up finally because that was bugging me for a while.
Yeah.
But I finally got it sorted, the go high level stuff, and so like the onboardings like making sense and everything's fine, so that's good, and the funnel is connected, which is good. I got my first, no, not my first. I got a beta client who was really good. The situation with this person was that they really wanted to kind of join the proper coaching, but they couldn't really afford it. So I kind of had them as like a half beta client. So like they said they will pay. Well, no, I offered to do it for free, and then when the result comes, they can pay at a discounted price, and they were really happy with that. So they're going to do that and give a testimonial, which is a good win for me there. Yeah.
Beautiful. It reminds me a little bit of what we were just talking about with Eric. I don't know if you guys have followed along with Cola's story here, but it had been slow progress until I guess the last week and a half. And the fact that you now have a beta client that you're running with, I mean, that's huge. You may not realize what a big deal that is. Yeah. Congratulations, man. Nice job doing that. How are you
So,
feeling? Huh?
oh, sorry. One more, one more question. One more question, and this is kind of related to what I was first mentioning in the beginning because it just came to me while I was speaking.
Yeah.
So, for example, I'm doing this project management kind of thing, but then I've got other things I'm doing as well. So I'm like, if I was to post once in a while these other random things that I'm doing in terms of maybe I'm looking at investing in property and stuff like that, is that something that you think I should separate or just put it all in terms of one social media account or one social media following?
Great question. Let's see what everyone thinks. Anyone got feedback for Cola?
I would say, hey, Cola, if you have the opportunity, like, do you want to limit yourself on the amount of eyeballs you get? That's really the question. So if you say yes, then just stick to one channel. If you say no, I want more eyeballs on me, then widen it. And I read back a lot on Gary Vaynerchuk's. He made a lot of stuff. He makes a lot of stuff about social media. He talks about how every channel is different. So like YouTube's long form. YouTube, people like raw, unedited, maybe 45 minutes, an hour. You're, just having a conversation and people really get to know you, build a lot of trust there. And then Instagram is highly edited, very short stuff because people are, you're working on their attention span. Same with TikTok. So I don't know if that helps or makes sense.
Yeah, I think kind of it'd be better to have a property Instagram account and a coaching project management Instagram account, or just have one polar Instagram for both of them.
Cola, are you just talking about Instagram channels or are you talking about other platforms as well?
Just Instagram.
Oh, okay. Far down knows better than me. I'm not qualified to answer that question.
I know nothing either.
Put you
I
on the
would
spot
just
there.
say it's just nice to have a hook. So if there's a way that it makes sense to combine the two, then actually then it becomes even more niche because you combine project management with real estate or whatever you want to combine. It would have to make sense for me. If there's no connection between the two, then I think you would leave your followers maybe confused. And if you're only interested in one of the two, then also I'm not so interested because then there's also stuff I'm not interested in. So that's just my initial feedback.
Yeah,
I think so. If your channel's real estate and you want to put some stuff in there about karate, it's a bit confusing.
I'm
Anyone
doing
else?
that with a drum niche, but like the guy said, I had to separate out my personalities. I'm a different personality in the drummer world, even a different name on school, et cetera, a different picture than in the SEO world. And the Instagram is all different. Everything's all different. The YouTube's all different. I had to separate the channels because I don't want the SEO community finding out I'm this party rock star animal on this side. No, I'm just kidding. But I think keeping them separate, like the other guys were saying, is, otherwise it'll kind of confuse the issue. Even though my main thing is called harmonic SEO, which is related to my music, but I'm kind of keeping the personality separate because there's two different constituents, not the same.
Cool. Makes sense.
Yeah. I will tell you one other thing. You're earlier on, so one other consideration to have is that what we've seen is before you have multiple brands or identities or anything like that, if you can manage to have your personal brand be your business, then it's a really good situation to be in, because then you can do just one thing and you don't have split focus, which there's merit to. However, at some point, if you're successful with that and then you've got other brands, then yeah, it would make sense to separate them or keep your personal identity with just one of them. But in the last, I don't know, 5 years or so, a little bit less, you've seen a lot less brand companies, and now they're personal brands. That's more of a popular thing anyway. So if you can merge it without it being too forced, I would probably recommend just starting with one, and putting them together in one, because you're more on the beginner side.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but as soon as you have some degree of growth on there, and you're launching another thing, which I don't recommend off the bat, like make sure that one company is just flying and going on its own first, but then from that point, it's always helpful to have another. So yeah, I guess I would say it sort of depends on what stage you're at, what you're optimizing for. Yeah, good question. Cool, thank you, man.
So during the niche thing, this kind of circled back to what I was going to say during the niche thing, because I've recently kind of pivoted my focus to helping service-based small business owners, solopreneurs, utilize Kickstart a school ecosystem to leverage their current clients, nurture their current client base, reactivate previous clients, attract new clients without all the runaround. So there's consistent income, which is one of our biggest challenges. Notice I've had to cancel several days of bodywork clients because of broken fingerness. So that will lead people into my health programming that I've been like banging my head against a brick wall trying to get kickstarted, because it's saturated, because it's personal development, because it's not just back pain. So now I'm really getting leverage with this pivot change and focus, which will bring people organically in, because you have to have your health as a service provider, right? It's not just health equals wealth, but you can't like lay there laid up and be like, tick, 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 tick. So there's some different concerns, and that's what sets it apart from the start your school, make your first million, whatever everybody else is doing, right? So that's really exciting. And each day I'm getting some new people in, and but yeah, it's that focus that really has helped, and finding that builds the momentum. It's
awesome.
Very exciting. So nice. I did another win is I finally did an opt-in. I added a new custom domain, yay.wisewithwendy.com, to my old, barefoot focused GHL I'd started months ago, and published the first opt-in magnet for that, for a 3-day one-to-one challenge for the Wise Revitalize. And I'm about to release the one for the holiday special, the 12 days of Christmas, where they can get the full 5K thing for only $9.99. Oh, wait, there's more. So winning with weirdness all the way.
Love it, dude.
The wise way.
Nice pivot. That's really good. I'm excited to see what people you onboard on the with this new one. It's nice to
And-
see that progress happening where you identify a slightly new, keep the offer but modify where you're reaching out to. Cool strategy.
Yeah, the Boost framework works for body and business. And Ollie that I brought in yesterday, he teaches French and so I'm just really excited. I'm getting a lot more interest on LinkedIn than when people just blank over, oh, there's another health coach. Oh no, I'm not stressed. I don't have any pain. No, not me. Right? That's how people are. They're just like, this is just how life is supposed to be. I'm not stressed. I don't have pain.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Wow. Well, hey, the fact that you're making it work, that's the most important part. So congratulations sticking with it.
Blitzen.
Yeah.
I want to give a quick shout out to Joseph, actually, if I may,
Sure.
on this platform, Goose, because he gave a very quick tip to us on if you have this. Sorry, it's very divergent, but I don't want to mention it. So if you've got your school and maybe your school free on public, your posts rank like crazy on Google. I'm just seeing a post I put up just a few days ago. It's coming in on like pretty much it's number one on Google. It's pretty crazy. So this is something very, very interesting that I've got to figure out how to do it well and leverage it. But this is a very interesting thing about school and things that we can do with it. So
yeah.
Thanks for that, Justin. I got a course coming out on helping build the post where it actually ranks for the thing people are looking for to actually get them in. So I have a little mini course coming out for school owners. And Goose and I have talked about this. We went through and identified all the high domain authority links and stuff that come from school. School is a sleeper right now on SEO, just like Reddit was back in the day. And now you see all these Reddit discussion forum communities are a huge resource now for Google to actually get real responses versus AI responses. So school is sleeping right now on the impact of what SEO will provide, and making everything public now makes your posts targeted to the search engine. So that's really cool. Thanks, Justin, for pointing that out. But if everybody has their group on private, they're not getting Google juice.
And everyone wants a little Google juice.
Everybody wants a little Google juice. Yeah.
A little bit of Google juice.
Yeah. So if you're concerned that it's on public, that's I think what everybody's concerned. I don't want people seeing my free or seeing stuff, that kind of thing. But in reality, they still have to join if they want access to your kitchen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Nice, man. That's good. Cool shout out there, Peach. That's great.
Thanks for that, Justin.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't want to disrail, but I was just looking, and also I see now that because we've got our school linked to our website, that my website on its most important search term is now page 1, which is crazy. So it's learn Reiki online, and that's now page 1 on Google. So
you're going to be my testimonial, Justin.
yeah, absolutely.
Like, holy cow, Goose! Like that right there, man. Let's get on the show. Let's go.
Yeah. You guys should post a screenshot of you being page 1.
That's insane. That is amazing. Thanks for that, Justin. That's amazing.
Right there.
Yeah, huge win.
People pay a lot of money to do that, but you can't.
A lot of money, yeah.
You can't ride the school wave that way.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Very authoritative too. That gives you guys authority. So that's great. Yes. Topical relevance and authority.
Well, I would quite like to have some more authority. I think that I deserve it. Work quite hard for
it. Yes.
I wouldn't mind having a bit more authority. I love it. Cool. Great shout out. Nice job sharing that, Joe. You've been on top of it. You're an asset to every single group that you're hanging out with. It's really cool. Also, Illumination Project. Who is that? Are you able to chat? I think you showed up a couple times. I had another question that you had asked. Let's see. What was it? Oh, TJ, that's you. What's up, baby? All right. So where was the if I have a private free group, wouldn't that defeat the purpose? You mean of making it private? Well, I believe, and Joseph, correct me if I'm wrong, you only have the only thing that's visible is the community feed, right?
Just the feed. The only thing that's not private is the feed.
Yeah.
Yeah. You still have to join to get access to everything else.
Yeah. So everything else.
It's like a Facebook feed. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like a Reddit feed, a Facebook feed, or whatever. But if you want to interact or get in there, I think you have to join.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Just like you can see a Facebook feed publicly, but you can't comment or like it unless you log in and you're in.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Yeah.
So it's not bad if you're concerned about your feed being public. That's why people wanted it exclusive. And the difference is private community exclusivity. If you're trying to just exclusive, and nobody's in, and it's just our special people, then that's when you make it private. Otherwise, you make it public so everybody can see the feed and come and read the feed. They go, I want to join this based on the feed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if the feed is cool and good, then people will join.
Yeah.
And you get Google juice. That's
yeah, you can't say no to that.
You can't say no to the Google juice.
Yeah. That's a big one. Cool. All right. And so everyone understand that one? Free communities especially. I would understand someone keeping a paid community still locked down. But yeah, exactly. It's free marketing. May as well ride that. Cool. Okay. Let's see. So TJ, you cannot talk, but if you have any other questions, go ahead and type them in, and we'll start looking. And I want to hear from also Sylvan and Dina. If you guys are there, love to hear if you guys have a couple of wins or something that you pop through.
Hello. I'm not driving, but waiting for my family for the Christmas shopping shit. Anyway, we are late as each year, so I'm waiting for them to come back.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's going pretty well, thank you. I still ranking at 11 in the discovery. I think you've got some threshold on number of members stuff to go up, I think, because we've been stuck there for like 5 days despite having like growth for like 39 in early December to 11 now.
Yeah.
So I think you've got some limits that I need to overcome.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you're slowly breaking them down bit by bit, right?
Yep. And so the engagement has been multiplied by 5 these last 3 weeks, starting from December 1st.
Great.
And no money involved, only one prize, which was the top of the leaderboard is gaining access to my premium community. And that's it. No second place, no third place. I had no idea, and I didn't want to put some money on the table because I wanted to keep some quality.
Yeah.
And so I see Joseph is here. He's inside. Jules is inside too. So they can. I mean, they know how it went. And the only rule was like, you can use GIFs and memes and everything, but I want to keep the post at a quality standard. So if there's like a GIF abuse, it's disqualification, and nobody abused anything. Everybody's really respectful of that. There are some great discussions sparking on, like everybody's welcoming, everybody asking questions. They go to their bio and ask about, hey, I saw that you were doing A or B, and so now, can you tell me more about this? Do you need help and stuff? And I've put a member skills directory too. So I'm highlighting each and every member's specialty. So for instance, Joseph is obviously SEO. Julie's productivity, I've got some ADHD, stuff like that.
Really quick, are you guys getting echo from my screen? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, here, let me. Let me change it to MacBook. Okay, is that better?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let me try. Yeah, it seems to be better. And so, yeah, so every member that wants to can give me his or her specialty. And so that when you join the community, you can go to pin post and ask for help to A or B. And which in turns, people getting to know each other better. And so when someone join and say, I'm looking for A, I'm not the only one pointing out to other people. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I think that content and what standard is a thing, providing value, but being the place to be when you need to find some help about something is also providing value.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. That's those are pretty big motions. Nicely done, man.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's going really well. Now I need to ascend.
Yeah. That's always that there are certain parts that are always difficult. It's the
Your
conversion.
advent calendar is amazing, dude.
Yeah, thank you.
Amazing. Everything's saved. Everything is all saved. Your entire advent calendar is amazing.
Yeah, I forgot this one. You have put in place this advent calendar, which is almost done now. I need to post today's. So I basically offer 25 days of free resources. So I'm working on school offers and business strategy. So everything is about problem solving, time management, reflection about your skills and stuff like that. And yeah, it seems to be working well and helpful, which is good.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Well, good job. Congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
I'm glad
Thank
to.
you.
Yeah. We have just enough time, I believe, for like one last question or share of a win if you guys have. Otherwise, we'll be launching on Wednesday, and I'll post later today what that when that first content bit will be, but it'll all be live. So if anyone wants to chime in and ask questions on it, that'll be there. It'll be the first test, and from that point on, we'll start running the rest of the show. Go through that full list of 11. Anyone got any last bit?
So will
Beautiful.
this be a reoccurring meeting on Wednesdays going forward? Is that what you're saying?
Good question. I was thinking of just tossing them up as needed because I may do them more often than just like once every Wednesday. Because at that rate, it would take 3 months to finish all of them. So I think probably I'll do them twice, maybe 3 times weekly if I'm feeling dangerous. So they'll start dropping more frequently, and I'll try to keep them on consistent time. So around this time, and give everyone at least a couple of hours head start. Although there are some people in Australia that were like, "Hey, can you do another meeting later in the day?" So I may throw one of those out and see if we get much of a response. Yeah, kind of shoot from the hip there. Cool. All right, everybody. Well, sorry.
No, I said cool. We'll keep an eye on the calendar.
Fabulous. Okay.
I'm not going to say Merry Christmas because we'll see you on Christmas.
Yeah, I guess so. If you, oh yeah, that's fucking Christmas. Well, see, I'm just gonna be alone at the office on Christmas.
Yay.
So, you guys want to join? I guess I'll be here working.
I'm alone in Portland, so let's go. See you on Christmas.
Sweet, man. We'll do an alone together Christmas. All right, fabulous. Love you all, guys. I'll see you soon.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Merry
Bye,
Christmas.
everybody.